welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Meg of Plantitas, and I am a plant hobbyist here in Pampanga, Philippines. I have been doing plant videos for the past couple of years, so why don't you check them out? If you like them, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you will be notified of my future videos. I guess the title says it all. I wasn't really meaning to film because I have tons of videos actually to edit, but I think this is a timely video, and I have been receiving messages the past couple of weeks because I posted my listing system, and it seems that people are already panicking and getting ready for summer. So yun, what's the big deal? Of course, this video is not applicable, I suppose, to people in the West, like in the cooler areas, in cooler countries. I think you'd be more concerned about winter than summer, because summer would be growing season. But for us, for me especially, people in countries like the Philippines and in the lowlands pa, we kind of really get very, very harsh summers. So since I got into houseplant, I have experienced a few summers, and so far wala pang summer na wala akong casualty. For those who can relate, or if you're new to the hobby and this would be your first summer, some may be wondering what's the big deal. Some of our plants, a lot of the popular indoor or house plants, they are not exactly, suitable for our houses. Especially those that are not from the Philippines. It's like monsteras, like philodendrons. They're not from the Philippines. Hindi po sila endemic. We don't have those here in the Philippines. Some of them would really struggle in the peak of summer, especially if you're in an area like where I am. Ako specifically, I struggle because aside from being in Pampanga, the lowlands, I don't really have walls around. I don't have a perimeter wall around the property. So yeah, and I don't have neighbors to my left and to my right. So the sun is gonna hit my garden directly. It gets very windy here, and that dries up my plants. So that's my personal experience. Some people here in Pampanga, they can manage better because they have maybe they live near a body of water, like a river, microclimate na sila. So that's what I've been struggling with and trying to do. I'm trying to create a microclimate here at home. Anyway, I have a few friends asking for help on how to prepare for summer. So I thought I'll share a few stuff na akala ko actually they're just simple things, but when I share it to people, it's new to them. So I thought, okay, so there are things that I know that people are not really exactly aware about, so share ko na rin. Okay, so I'm gonna be sharing 5 simple hacks to make summer easier. I'm gonna have a few tips for indoor gardeners and then some for outdoor gardeners. In my experience, I've had potted plants indoors during summer, and they still suffer. Iba pa rin the temperature and the humidity, the drop in humidity. The major issues would be, mark my words, there's gonna be browning tips, there's gonna be dehydration, there's gonna be yellowy leaves, there's gonna be spider mites. Spider mites, they love it warm and dry. So when summer hits, you kind of really have to check on that. So indoor gardening, my tip number 1 is supplement your humidity. And I have tried so many things, but I guess a humidifier is always a good idea. I used to use the canister humidifiers, pero honestly, I'm very tamad, and it's too much work for me. I have indoor and outdoor plants. I find that too much work because I have to refill it every 1 or 2 days. Just a little reminder, when you use humidifiers, make sure you also have good ventilation, because it may backfire and it may cause fungal infection among your plants. And pag may humidifier pa yan, the air from the humidifier can even bring the spores of fungus sa ibang plants. What I am still using, I'm actually into tanks lately. So I have fish tanks, I have a full-on aquarium, I have a couple, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 and then I have a terrarium, and then I have this my paludarium. So I don't keep potted plants indoors anymore, but I still want plants. So this was my kind of meeting in the middle, because my husband loves fish and I like plants, but I don't like keeping potted plants indoors because I don't have that capacity to take care of them. So this is, for me, is a low maintenance way of keeping plants and adding humidity to the surroundings. So this is a paludarium. I filmed the build of this. I'm not sure I'm gonna publish it here, or maybe just start a new channel about fish and stuff. Comment down below if this is kind of your thing. If you're interested, I'll share the video. And because I have fish in it, I'm not really worried about mosquitoes. So that's another thing. They eat the larvae and everything. I have an alocasia, I have a monstera, I have some ficus, acacia, some moss and epiphytes here, and they're really very low maintenance in my opinion. I have a humidifier going on here, and it's actually just one of those donut humidifiers. So it's just on top of the water, and it has a USB switch. And how I planted everything, it's sort of a self-sustaining system, so I'm pretty happy with that. I don't really have any potted plants, but if you want to keep potted plants, keeping them near this setup would be very, very helpful. It's your thing. If this is your thing. If not, you can just use the humidifier. Okay, so tip number 2 for indoor gardeners: automate everything. So maybe you brought in your plants and you need to supplement your light, like I do here. So bright. I'm just using LED lights. Thanks to Plant versus Doxies, he has an entire highlights talking about grow lights and stuff. So I decided not to use grow lights anymore. For one, I kind of don't like the look of the violet cast, and I feel that my plants are growing well with just the usual LED. So for this setup, I have actually a floor lamp, and it's on for like 12 hours a day. I turn it on later in the morning para may night light din. So my second tip is automate everything. So I feel this is like not new, but I'm surprised that I mentioned this to a couple of people recently, and they kind of haven't thought about it, haven't tried it. I'm talking about smart plugs. So I have one here, sample. you can buy it like this if you only have like, you know, one entire system. Like this light and this humidifier, they're just using one of this. I also have a strip type with multiple plugs. It's very easy. It has a user manual. You just kind of, I think you just you download the app, you press this, and then it's gonna sync, and from then you can just schedule. I'll show you how I do it here. You can just schedule the time it turns on, the time it turns off, and you just leave it be. That's it. That's it. So I can go about my work every day without worrying if I turned on the tank lights, the terrarium lights, the plant grow lights, and the humidifiers, and I can, you know, leave the house without worrying that, you know, gumimik ka tapos wala nang nagpatay ng mga grow lights mo. So everything is automated, and it's one of the best things I've tried this year. Actually, last year pa pala. Late last year. I'll add all the links here na lang sa description. I don't have affiliate links, but you know, you might find it helpful. This smart plug is just 200 plus. Okay, plus shipping. Pero, diba? I mean, how convenient. May taga-bukas ka rin, taga-sara for just 200 pesos. And the strip is, of course, more expensive. I think it was 1,000 something. But it has 4 plugs, and so here, this is Amos or Panganay. Hey, Amos. This is the strip I was talking about. It has 4, and it has USB ports as well. So I think sulit naman na for the price. And it runs these tank lights, and I have an aerator, and I have a filter, a hang-on filter, and I also have some strip lights here for my terrarium. I also filmed the build of this. If you're interested, comment down below. So tip number 3, this is for outdoor gardeners. One word, shade. There are a lot of plants that are not made for direct sun, for direct harsh sun, for long hours. Popular plants nowadays, they are shade loving. So for me, we were very lucky that we were able to plant a couple of trees sa front yard. So I showed you that on my front yard rearrange and tour. At a couple of videos. My friends who visit me, they love those trees whenever they see them, and they actually want to get them. They're African talisais. So you also still have to be very vigilant if the sun's direction moves, diba? Pwede kasing it's gonna shade it from direct noon sun, pero yung afternoon sun pala patagilid. For some, you know, sometimes you just really have to do something temporary, like moving your plants. You can move them maybe to your carport or garage or to indoors. I have trees, and I also use shade nets. I know this is not for everyone. Maybe you can find alternatives. Like at some point I got a sail shade, pero eventually it got worn out, and maybe for a few plants it's gonna work. So long term, what worked for me are shade nets. I eventually got the 70% UV protection shade nets. I got it from a supplier who supplies agricultural needs supplies. I'm gonna link it in the comments down below if you're interested. So I got it by roll. So I feel nakamura ako by the amount of it that I got. I think it was like 3,000 pesos, but like 60 meters or something. And then tip number 4, if you can, amend your medium, especially if you're an outdoor gardener. Maybe even for indoors, ano, kasi the humidity is gonna be different. So I noticed that during low humidity days, my fast draining medium, it dries up so easily. Like, hours pa lang, bone dry na lahat. So, Ripsalis, ngayon pa lang, so super dehydrated na. You can add more water retaining, ingredients. Ingredients ba yung tawag doon? Cocoa peat, or peat moss, or even loam soil. Maybe you can chop a little bit of sphagnum moss. It's also advisable naman daw kasi to change your medium maybe 1 to 3 times a year, ganyan. Minsan yata quarterly pa yung iba. It will refresh the nutrients. If you're using soil, the nutrients are gonna be leached out. If you're using non-soil, like cocoa cubes, ganyan, even ipa, rice hull, they decompose. So sometimes that would start the root rot because of the fungus and the bacteria that would thrive when they decompose. So it's a good practice. Honestly, I can't keep up with it. I have way too many plants. And lastly, tip number 5, try to increase humidity. So I know not everyone can build a pond. So this is actually my husband's fish pond, and this is the bug filter, and I have some plants going on here, and that's the koi pond. I have a lot of small danyos. Nag-multiply na sila dito, and then of course the koi and some danyos there too. It helps the humidity, pero alam nyo minsan it's super dry and super hot na hindi pa rin siya ganong kalaking tulong. So here's another hack. This is a solar water fountain. It's not much, but I think it's creating water movement and stuff. Area din, meron siyang falls. So there's water movement here. Ito yung nagpapasaya sa aking mga Florida beauties, may alocasias, monsteras. And of course, I have my lotus pond over there that I showed you how to build. And if you want to keep bodies of water like that but don't want to keep fish, this is something I got from Shopee. Tinuro sa akin to ni Cookie of Plants vs. Cookie. These are mosquito bits. They're supposedly safe for fish actually, and safe for plants and for pets. So yung mosquito larvae lang talaga yung tina-target niya. And finally, yung parating tinatanong sa akin ay yung misting system ko. I posted this on the stories one time, and a lot of people asked me about it kasi nga nagpapanik sila tungkol sa summer. So they asked me about my misting system. I'm gonna link the Lazada link. I tried yung mechanical lang that you plug straight to your faucet, but that didn't work for me because we have very strong water pressure. So I think those were meant for irrigation na drip system on the ground. When you hang them, pumipigla sila. They kind of, the pressure is too much for them to stay together. Then pag hininaan mo naman yung gripo, the dispersal of water isn't as good as I want. So I ended up not using it anyway. So I got this one with a water pump, and I like it. So it's running along the trellis. Tapos ayun. So you can see may nozzle siya. So my issue is pinalitan ko na yung nozzle na yan. We have very high calcium in our water, so nagkakaroon ng nagsusolidify, and yun, pumapangit na yung spray niya. The replacement, they're not very expensive, they're just like 200 plus. So I guess that's fine. Lazada is life. So, ganyan siya. So, ayan, sundan natin siya. So, I have this covered water reservoir on Orocan. And the end of the hose has a filter. So, yan, mga nalalaglag akong mga perlite. So, that water inlet connects to the main pump. This is the pump na in-attach ko lang dito. So, just make sure you fix it in an area that doesn't get rained on. Kasi electrical yan. And this is the outlet. And this goes up the trellis. And then it has the electrical parts. Actually, hindi ko pa nasa-set up yung ano nito. I have a smart plug for this as well, but I haven't set it up. For now, I have this timer, so it's mechanical. So I guess that's it. That is how I am preparing for summer. I'm not saying that this will summer-proof all of my plants. Every summer is different. Some are worse than others. But I really hope everybody has a very stress-free summer this year. 2021, masyado na madaming stress ang pandemic. So I hope summer doesn't add stress to the plant parents. I just thought I'll do this quick video para yun nga, kasi I realized marami din palang hindi pa alam yung mga hacks na na-discover ko the past couple of years. So I hope you find something helpful, and if you like this, please don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. And comment down below if there's anything else you want me to talk about, or yun nga, if you want me to show you how I built the stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and bye. I think I got it.